as you can see, we have a set of Cruciata fairings for our R7. At the time that we bought it, we hadn't even actually seen photos of the fairings. They were being prepped by Cruciata. It wasn't even on their website. It was only on the Omnia website. So bought a set of them. We have no idea what they look like, other than a quick little check to see that nothing was damaged in the packaging. So yeah, we're going to unbox them. Once we get them all out of the box, we'll show you what they look like. That is a super black tail by the feels of things.
It is mad. It's the top of the tail, is it?
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, it's underneath the tail. Belly pan?
Tape cover.
Oh, mad.
Nice. Oh, it's even grilled. Bellow panel. Pretty good.
Yeah, what's the fucking side panels?
I'm going to say, yeah, tank infills.
Or side
or
panels.
Maybe side panels.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do side down the side of the seat. One more mount. Yeah, man.
That's pretty cool. Right, so we have Cruciata R7 fairings. It took a little bit to get them all out of the packaging, look for a few bits and bobs, but here we have the full set. So it comes with an upper, a lower, the tank cover, which is actually like a proper mimic. So it has your grills for airflow, even little spots for your Yamaha emblem to go, should you decide to run that. Now it's full super black tail. Now this tail is actually pretty complicated. You have this piece, which is the seat pan. So you got to remove some of the OEM. You have to remove some of the OEM seat mounting hardware, and this will just bolt straight up to the frame. Just got to drill it. Unfortunately, there's a couple of things that happen with international traveling. There's a small crack here. Of course, you know, it's coming from Italy to Australia in the back of a shipping container, so you know, can't be too mad at that. It'll just take a little bit of fiberglass resin there, and should be pretty safe and sound to run. Finish is pretty good. Like you could almost just give that a light sand on all of this and go straight to putting it on striper painting. So the tail unit is actually in a bunch of pieces. So it's going to be a super bike tail, so solid tail, not using the OEM seat. And as I lift this, you'll see it'll all fall apart. So that's the seat pan. Then you have your tank infill and wings on both sides. You have this tail section, which will mount straight to the OEM pillion mounting points. There's a bunch of brackets and some instructions in Italian, so we'll deal with that. We're actually going to try to figure out how we can cut this out and run the OEM tail light as our rain light. We have to run rain lights in the rain now here in New South Wales at any rate, and we race at night, as you'll have seen on some of our other videos. If you haven't, go check them out. So we have to run a tail light. So we want to use the OEM tail light because it's LED, super lightweight, and this matches up with the OEM patterning. If we can run that, I think that'll be pretty sweet. And then this is the undertail or the under tray, which is going to mount up to the bottom, stop stuff winding towards our ECU. But yeah, it's pretty cool very sturdily made. I think it'll crash pretty well when I crash, because let's face it, it's a when, not an if. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I got to figure out what screen it's going to run. It might be the OEM screen pattern. We'll have to try to figure that out as we go along. Yeah, it does have the intake kind of like the R6 or R1, which some of the other fairings don't have. They run them with no intake, but no, that just means that we might have to try to plumb up some ram air or something, get some more air towards the airbox a little later down the line. But that's the Cruciata fairings. There was no photos of these available when we ordered them. The Omnia website just had R6 fairings, was what they had. But this is the full kit. There's no fender with it, or front mudguard. So we'll have to order one of them because our one was damaged. But other than that, yeah, it's awesome, full kit. So they are with the advancement in technology, the whole YouTube wizardry thing. I'm going to click my fingers and it's all going to go onto the motorbike. So now I'm going to fucking put it on. One eternity later, we have managed to put the fairings on for a bit of a test fitting. Now, none of the mounting brackets are on. We were literally just seeing how they would all fit. The instructions are a little bit light on information, but just shows like where mounting brackets need to go. And I was a bit kind of, well, I don't know about that. But then putting them up to the bike, they are so simple. It's so self-explanatory. The way you've got the mouldings for where things are going to mount and bolt to. They've even pre-drilled some of the fastening points for the Zeus fasteners and stuff that we're going to use. Very, very good. Like we said before, it's a little bit complex in the tail, but when you actually have it on the bike, it makes sense that it's going to be that way, which is pretty cool. I think they look great on the bike. We've got a little bit of adjusting to do here and there, but not much. They're pretty well made, straight out of the box. A light sand, and you can paint them as well. So you can see we've currently got the belly pan being held up with some workshop stuff. It won't fit with the standard exhaust on a course. So we're just waiting for our race exhaust to turn up. We'll mount that race exhaust to the bike, and then we can finish mounting up everything else. Yeah, really cool, really good quality, and it's just going to be so easy to mount everything on. You know, race fairings can be a bit painful. These aren't like super expensive fairings, but they're not super cheap. You know, they're very good quality material, very well made, and very, very fresh. One thing that's not part of the fairing kit is a front fender. Now, the front fender that came with this bike when we got it from the auctions was damaged, so we're going to have to source our own race fender. Cruciata at the moment doesn't have one, so we'll try to source one locally. But other than that, absolutely stoked. You know, test fitting, everything works well. The front stay on this bike was a little bit damaged, so it doesn't kind of line up perfectly with the way the fairings are. But again, that's something that we'll figure out. Either get a race stay or modify the stock one, fix the stock one up so that it mounts up. And then dealing with whatever windscreen we're going to run. I normally use tall screens, so if it's an R7 or an R6 pattern screen, we'll figure out what we can get. Usually I'll try to get a double bubble, or, you know, the Gen 3s, we have an actual Isle of Man TT style screen to hide me behind it. It's very, very narrow profile bike. The Yamaha made it quite narrow, quite small. So I'm going to need all the help I can get to get a bit of aero and a bit of top speed. But yeah, overall, we're absolutely stoked with these fairings. Very happy with them, especially for the price. Even with shipping from Italy, they were pretty good. Some of the stuff from the States, a lot of the Yanks really like some of the fairings that they have from there. But the cost of shipping at the moment, especially from America, is so high that even though they were more available than the Cruciata fairings at the time that we purchased, just the shipping cost was almost the same as the fairing cost. Whereas we managed to do some stuff with Omnia, and they were able to do shipping a lot cheaper from Italy. Took a little bit longer, but that's okay. We're still racing the Suzukis for the moment. We're prepping the R7 for whenever we want to go racing with it. Yeah, absolutely stoked. There's going to be a little bit of work doing underneath this to make sure it all fits, and we'll do a little install video on how we mounted it all up, putting the brackets where they need to go, giving a bit more information about that than maybe the instructions have. Again, though, super simple, so shouldn't be too hard at all. And then we've got to figure out a paint scheme. You know, our colour scheme is black and yellow, and Yamaha does a nice black and yellow for its 50th anniversary colours. So we're thinking maybe something along those lines, perhaps. And then other things I have to think about is what material we're going to use for the seat, because it's a superbike saddle, so you have to put a foam pad on or something like that, and then stomp grips, tank grips. If we really want to, we can get the little Yamaha roundels to put there, and then figure out where our sponsorship and supporter stickers are going to go whenever we decide what paint scheme we're going to run. Other than that, I hope you've enjoyed this video about unboxing a few things, and I hope you like the look of these CRUCIATA fairings. If you're interested, let us know, and we'll see if we can get you in contact with Omnia, and then hopefully organise some more of these fairings getting out in the world. Other than that, hit like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.
Okay.
This motherfucker, I swear to God.